If you're looking for the cheapest and most reliable Madden 22 coins on the market, check out my sponsor, MMOEXPR.com. Links are in the description, and use code JEDI at checkout for 5% off. Alrighty, hey there guys, Adrian Kasi here, aka JediBro95, coming at you guys with another video. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be talking about the Madden 23 beta. Now, I have been playing it basically the entire weekend. Ever since I got home from school on Friday, after my live stream until like maybe about an hour ago, I've been just playing the beta nonstop. Like I have actually, I should rephrase that. I have stopped to actually get on Madden 22 to do my daily objectives. But other than that, that's really it. Like, I've basically just been playing the Madden 23 beta nonstop. That's actually how much fun I've been having with the Madden 23 beta. And I'll touch on that more when we actually start talking about it, because there is a lot of things I do have to say about it. Because there is a decent amount of things that are great. There's a decent amount of things that are not so great. Well, only a few things that are not so great, but we'll get into that when we get there, guys. But before we do, actually, just quickly let you guys know, there are still a decent amount of you that are watching these videos that are not subscribed to the channel. So if you guys could be generous enough to take 1 second of your time to leave a like and a subscription to the channel, that would be greatly appreciated, as both things help me out in the algorithm, both things keeping me wanting to make videos, and both things keep put this video out there for others to see, to, you know, get an idea of how basically I view Madden 23, the Madden 23 beta. Now, before we actually, one last thing before we completely dive into it, you got to keep in mind, guys, this is just my opinion on some of the changes that are going to be coming in Madden 23. This is just my opinion. This is not 100% concrete, you know, fact. Like, a lot of people have different opinions and shit like that when it comes to the beta. So first off, let's start off with the negatives, because there is a decent number of negatives, and I do want to get those out of the way because I don't want to dwell on them too much. The first one is the biggest one, is the pass rush, more specifically the instant wins. Now, I have been very vocal about this on Twitter over the last 48 plus hours, and the pass rush let me elaborate. The pass rush overall in Madden 23 is fine. Okay, the overall pass rush, when you don't have those moments when someone gets an instant win on a shed, then in that situation, it's fine, because you still have time in the pocket to throw a deep post or a deep corner, pending if the route, if person who runs the route is fast enough. That's not my problem with pass rush. My biggest problem with pass rush is the instant wins, and more specifically on the edges. A lot of people in this game, with the pass rush on the edge, they are just instantly winning the rep. They're not even like putting up, there's like no resistance. They're just instantly beating the rep, and you're taking a hit within 1 to 2 seconds. Now, I can understand why people think that this is a good thing for the game, as, you know, obviously pass rush should be getting home a lot faster. You shouldn't have all day in the pocket. And I'm not going to disagree with that. You should not have 5, 6, 7 seconds to throw a fucking ball, right? Like, you should not be, like, right here. You should not be sitting there all day with the ball in your hands and trying to make a plan, waiting for a route to develop. I understand that. But at the same token, I should not be getting hit within 1 second after the snap more often than not either. About 3 to 4 seconds, I think, is the proper time that people should be getting with the ball in their hands. Now, to be fair, EA has admitted that this is something that is a problem in the beta, and they're probably going to more likely address it by the time Madden 23 comes out. And I have no doubt they will, because it is something that a lot of people are talking about, both in, don't touch it and do touch it. I'm of the belief if they just tune the instant wins like they tune like the instant sheds on pass rushers, not just on the edge, but also on DTs as well, as I have actually seen it a couple times where the defensive tackles just completely wreck my offensive line. And I'm also playing, I'm not just playing with, I'm not even playing with the Seahawks, by the way. The teams I've been playing with are the Broncos, Broncos, the Buccaneers, and I've been playing with the Chargers a little bit too, because I want to see how actually good the Chargers are, which the Chargers are fucking insane, by the way. Like, they have so many good players with superstar abilities and whatnot. But those, the Buccaneers, the Chargers, and even the Broncos have a solid offensive line, and I'm still getting whacked in a second. Like, it's insane, and in my opinion, game-breaking, how often the instant sheds happen, and how fast you can just take a hit with the quarterback. So, I hope that it has changed, and, I've expanded all the resources mainly on Twitter for talking about it, so we'll continue on. Moving on to the next thing that is a bit of a concern for me is the aggressive catches. They are back, and somehow I think they're a little worse. Now, I don't necessarily know. Maybe it is because with the way I'm choosing to play my on my defense, because I'm so used to clicking on and going for the pick instead of just swatting the ball or playing the receiver. And so therefore, when I do that, I get jumped over and I get aggressive caught on. And I do think that that should be toned down a little bit, but that is something that I can work around. Maybe I could just start to swat the ball down a little more. Maybe I should just look to try and do something else with it, like maybe just hit the receiver. But even then, in a situation like that, there has been times where a guy is like literally catches the ball over the top of the defensive back. And the best example I can give is I was playing against the Niners with the Broncos, and it was late in the fourth quarter. The Niners needed to score a TD because I think it was up like 16-9 or something like that. It was like a low scoring, very high defensive gameplay. And Jimmy threw a corner route to George Kittle on the sideline, and what's his name? Patrick Surtain was like right there to make a play. Even if he just hits him in the back to knock the ball out, it still would be more ideal. But for some reason, nothing happens. George Kittle just cleanly jumped over Patrick Surtain. Like, we're talking full-on hurdle on that shit. He just cleanly jumps over Pat Surtain, catches the ball, comes down inbounds, and it counts as completion. Now, I would luckily go on to win the game, but when that happened, I was mad. I was absolutely furious because it's like Patrick Surtain is literally like, they're literally standing back to back. Like, Surtain is literally right behind George Kittle. Like, if he just bumps him in any way, shape, or form while he's in the air, it throws him off and he doesn't get the catch. But then again, he probably could have gotten a pass interference. But it was just really annoying in that sense. And so I do think that that is something that needs to be tuned a little, but I don't think it's that bad. Now that we know, like, because they even said on the Fieldsense thing, they have more rewards for play ball, SWAT ball, and play receiver. So they actually did change that up. So there is that. Next, offensive line blocking is still a bit of a problem. One of the other main concerns for me is the offensive line blocking because with the pass rush being as insane as it is, you would think the offensive line blocking would be pristine and perfect, but there are times where the offensive line just isn't very good at picking up a block. The greatest example I can give is when the tight end, for me, I've noticed this a couple of times, when the tight end is in line on the formation, like it's a double set or a bunch tight end, or, like he's got his hand in the ground, he's like right on the offensive line. For some reason, even when I ID the mic, because I'm getting into the habit of IDing the mic, which is supposed to actually help out your offensive line to know who they're picking up for specific blocks, and also who they're supposed to, and also recognize certain things, like, be more aware of what's around them. But when I do do that, and I don't have the tight end blocking, for some reason the tackle just completely ignores the edge rusher, and he gets in for a hit. So that is something that I hope is cleaned up a little bit with the offensive line blocking. It's not ideal to fix. Obviously, there needs to be some other changes, but I do think that it does need to. The offensive line needs to be blocking a little bit better. Running back blocks is still as bad as it was this year, so don't be relying on your running back to pick up a blitz, because they're not going to be able to do that for you consistently. It's pretty bad. With the running back blocking again this year, just advised to keep in a tight end or keep in that's it basically. It's just a fucking tight end, because running backs just can't block for shit. Linebackers don't jump. Again, we're gonna have another year, hopefully not, but hopefully we don't have another year. But right now, linebackers do not animate without the lurker ability, which is super annoying. Because obviously it just completely nullifies one position group, and you're literally taking out one set of positions in favor of the fact that they can't jump. And you can literally turn around and say, well, look what they do in the run, look what they do with the hit sticks and all that stuff. And cool, that sounds great, but if they're not able to make a play on the ball consistently, why are we gonna have them on the field, especially from a competitive standpoint? It doesn't make sense to me. I think it should be definitely changed. Please, EA, make linebackers jump without lurker. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Lurker, in my opinion, should make your linebacker users incredible, not usable. That's what I've always thought about that. So, and then lastly, the biggest complaint I have with Madden 23, one of the last complaints I do have is the fact that sometimes the line just for overall, just when it comes to like certain things for the offensive line, they just don't hold. I've kind of actually already mentioned this. I swear there was like another one I had in mind, but I can't remember at this moment. So, but with that being said, guys, that is the negatives. Let's move on to the positives that I have to say about the Madden 23 beta. Now, first off, the field passing, the new precision passing, I think is an incredible new feature, and I actually am somebody who actually will use it because it is a dope feature that can allow you to put the ball in specific areas to where only you can make a play on the ball and the defenders cannot. And I've had situations like this where I've basically thrown high point end zone fades to Mike Evans in the end zone. He's come down with a decent amount, which, by the way, just as a side note, red zone threat, still it. But when it comes to that, like, it is pretty good to see how the precision passing is looking. And I actually will keep using it throughout the beta and maybe even through Madden 23 as long as they don't change too much of it. The only thing I don't understand is the reticle, like the LT freeform part of it. Like, that is a little bit confusing to me because it is something that, you can use the LT button. Like, for example, when you're going to pass it, you can hold the LT button before you let the ball go, and you will be able to freeform pass, which means you can basically take the cursor and throw it anywhere you want instead of right in front of the receiver in a specific angle. I'm not really understanding that right now. Hopefully I'll get it soon, but for the most part, it is not the best. It is not the ideal situation for me, but I do like the precision passing. Next, we have the defense overall outside of the pass rush. The defense overall, in my opinion, is fantastic. I do not think they should change anything. DB breaks on the ball are incredibly good. Zone coverage in and of itself is fantastic. Curl flats are playing the sidelines. Outside thirds are playing crossers now, which is good to see. Deep halves are jumping back to, take away a deep pass. Inside thirds can sort of get to deep posts or mid, like over the field posts. But even then, like the breaks on the ball, just as even without that sense, breaks on the ball are just as good. Even better. Like for example, when you're playing a hard flat with somebody, and pardon me, there's a guy that's going into the flat. The hard flat will actually get out there and actually try to take that flat away and maybe even get a pick. So, zones overall are great. DB breaks on the ball. They're a little bit OD, I feel, but I can actually live with it because you know what? We had an entire year of morons throwing wherever they wanted and getting away with it. Let defensive players be good. Let breaks on the ball be insane this year. That's what I hope for that. So also when it comes to zones, they have a new zone drop feature which allows you to, when it comes to your zone drops, you can change it up to have your zones match and have your zones just play spot drop, or you can have your regular zone drop set. Now, I actually like that feature. You can turn the match off and on in your coach adjustments. All you got to do is just go to your coach adjustments in the play call screen and enable match or turn it off, which I think is okay. I'm pretty sure though that how it works is, pardon me, I have a little bit of hiccups there. How it works is if you do have the zone drops enabled and you do call a match coverage play like you did this year, but if you have the match play call set, for example, you call cover 4 palms, right? Say you call cover 4 palms, but you have your zone drop set, but you also have match enabled. I believe how that works, if you want to turn it into match, is you just reset the play and it will automatically swap it back to cover 4 palms. Now, I'm not so sure about that. It is a little bit fuzzy to me, but I have tried that, and it seems like they play that. I'm not totally completely sold. I think it is a little bit out there for me to figure out, but once I do figure it out, I can definitely be more concise about it. But I do like the way that they've changed up the coaching adjustments this year with, more, you can basically decide if you want to have your players match, or if you want your players to play spot drop, or if you want your players to play like deeper with their flats and their hooks and all that stuff. So that is pretty dope all the way around. Next thing we have, Escape Artist is an X Factor this year, and to activate it, you have to scramble for 10 plus yards 6 times. It's very similar to Blitz Radar. Now, this is scrambles. This is not talking quarterback design runs. This is not talking about read options. No, this is scrambles, i.e. you have to drop back in the pocket. And then when you do drop back in the pocket, you have to take off with the quarterback, and get 10 yards from that, which I think is a fairly balanced change for escape artists. Obviously, escape artists needed to be done. Needed a change in some way, because obviously this year it was just insanely broken. It completely killed Madden 22 overall, and it definitely did need to be changed up. But they did change it, and they actually made it a good change for it. Speaking of escape artists and quarterback rollouts, contains are significantly better. It is so much easier to keep a mobile quarterback in the pocket. The best example I can give is I've been playing with against with some teams like the Cardinals, for example. The guys that have mobile quarterbacks like Herbert, even for the Chargers, because Herbert is also does like to roll out every now and then. And I just put up a contain, and they can't go nowhere because that contain actually fight to set the edge. And even if you don't set the contain, if you try to run out of the pocket with a mobile quarterback, the defensive linemen immediately disengage and chase you down, which is all great things to see, because that is the biggest problem with, other than escape artists, that was one of the biggest problems with Madden 22 was contains. They just did not keep the quarterback in the pocket, and I'm glad that those things actually do their shit, because it was really it was really annoying to see somebody just roll out of the pocket and then, stand on the sideline and wait for a deep post to clear an outside third that was pulled down by a fucking slant, which was dumb. And so I'm glad to see that that's changed. Definitely, something that needed to be addressed, because it was definitely annoying. Playbooks are a lot more simpler now. They do have, you still have your simple you still have your formations and whatnot, but playbooks do look a lot more simplified. It doesn't look like to be too many complex plays in playbooks. Like, some playbooks will still have specifically designed plays for their offense. Like, I know for example, the Rams offense has bunch X nasty. That's only for I believe that's only for the Rams. That could also be for the Seahawks as well, if I remember correctly. I actually did not play a whole lot with the Seahawks playbook. But I do know that bunch and bunch tight end have been removed from the Hawks playbook, and instead it's just bunch wide flex for them now for Madden 22. So for Madden 23, so a lot of you bunch to bunch tight enders are going to be not so happy to hear that one, but personally, I do think that it is a good change for the playbooks to be a little bit more simplified on both sides of the ball. Also, when it comes to plays and bunching and bunches, the flip bullshit is no longer a thing. So a lot of people, if you are new to Madden, you don't understand what that means. A lot of people would, if they call a gun bunch on the right side, they would have their 3 receivers set up on that side of the formation. They would call a crosser route for the slot receiver, and then they would flip that play, and the receiver that has the crossing route, like the crosser, would be on the solo side. So you would have a receiver on the solo side with a hot routed crossing route. That no longer is a thing. Instead, what you're going to be doing now when you do flip the play is the play art resets. So thank God for that. Those people were just so pissing annoying. I hated every single one of you bastards that did it. That I played, even though I don't think I played a whole lot of you guys, but you bastards that I played that fucking did that, I hate you so goddamn much. You guys were really fucking annoying to deal with, other than you escape artist bastards. So thank God that's been changed, because, oh God, I hated them. I hated it. Next thing, tackling is a lot better. The tackle battles aren't as big of a deal as I think a lot of people thought they would be. They are still annoying. The tackle battles are still annoying as hell. But I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be, because you only break it once, and then after that, you're basically guaranteed to go down. I am not really seeing a whole lot of breaking multiple tackles in the tackle battle, so I don't think it's that big of an issue, but I can see why people are not a fan of the tackle battles, because it is really annoying to have to press the A button every play. It feels like it is annoying. Don't get me wrong, I do hate it. Next up, there are some new abilities in the game. A few on offense and a few on defense. Other than the escape artist change to X Factor, there is a couple of new abilities. The first one is persistent. This just makes it harder for you to get knocked out of the zone, or at least reset zone progress, I believe. The only player that has this is Cooper Kupp. He is the only player that does have that ability. Then we also have goal line back, which basically gives your offensive line stronger run blocking within 5 yards of the end zone. The only player who has that is Jonathan Taylor. I know, I thought Derrick Henry was going to have that, but I guess not for some damn reason. Then we also have, new abilities like high and low Deadeye. Instead of having like high, that turned into an X factor, having it as an X factor like high, low Deadeye or some shit, they actually turn it into 2 separate abilities. For low Deadeye, I think Josh Allen and there's one other quarterback I know that has low Deadeye. For high point Deadeye, it is only Justin Herbert that has that ability. So if you do want to know about those, there is that. Then there's also for the defense, there is a couple of new abilities. They're basically outside shade, like inside shade. It's just for the players in that with that ability, they will have better coverage. I think it's just man coverage in outside with shaded outside or shaded inside. JC Jackson has the outside shade one, and I believe it is Jalen Ramsey or Stephon Gilmore, or one of the top man-to-man corners in the game, that has the inside shade one. They're the only ones that have that ability for that. And I think that's it for new abilities. There's not a whole lot when it comes to new stuff for abilities, but hey, new is good. And obviously, we'll wait and see how those play. I'm actually kind of interested to see how goal line back will play because I do like to, power through people in the red zone and on the goal line. So I kind of want to see how good that's going to be, but we'll have to wait and see when the MUT part of the beta comes out, which should be actually coming out soon. They did say that with the MUT, with the beta notes, that there was going to be head-to-head play now, and then they were going to add franchise, Superstar KO, the yard, face of the franchise, and they were going to add MUT to the beta at some point. So who knows when that's going to be? I suspect it should be very soon. Next thing I want to talk about for the abilities that I think is really good for Madden 23 is the overall just feel of the game. In terms of presentation, I actually do like how it looks for presentation wise. The ability, the game, the cutscenes and whatnot, there we go, are a lot more interesting. They're a lot more, I want to say, different, because I know there are some new opening theme ones. There's also some new like halftime ones and stuff of that nature. Also, victory formation has been changed. The animation for that has been changed. If you really give a crap about that, I don't, but I just thought like mentioning it because I thought it'd be funny. Also, the run game is actually pretty good. Now, it's not overpowered, okay? I don't like the idea of an overpowered run game. Don't get me wrong. But I do like having a solid run game for Madden in general. And Madden 23, has a solid run game to it. You can run the ball very well if you want. And I do suspect a lot of people could do that because of the pass rush and also because of the passing system being difficult, which honestly, you can just turn off the pass system. I don't think it's that huge of a deal. If you really don't like it, you can just turn it off. But I do think people will start to turn it into a runner's game, which I don't think it's a bad thing, definitely, because obviously, running the ball at a high rate should not be, in my opinion, way you win games. You should be winning games by playing, by having good pass offense and stuff of that nature. But it is what it is with that. Also, just moving the ball downfield does feel a lot more rewarding, especially because, like I mentioned, with the pass coverage, when you actually get to the red zone or get down to the end zone and score a touchdown, you actually do feel some grant of satisfaction because it's like, damn, I actually did manage to put the drive together and score a TD, which is good because obviously, that's one of the biggest things I have is just, it really didn't feel like touchdowns are earned. They were just, a given, I guess. Like, I don't feel like you earned touchdowns, especially in the early stages of Madden 22. They did, change up a little bit, but overall, like, I just feel like it is a lot better when it comes to you having to earn your yards and making it tough for you to score. As I alluded to with defense being better and all that shenanigans. Also, when it comes to the momentum, it has returned. Now, I don't necessarily think that's a good thing, but I'm saying it is a good thing because I truly don't give a crap about the momentum and the X and the M factors. As long as they're not stupid like the squigglies or the being able to see your opponent's primary receiver. I think that was a terrible idea, but luckily it wasn't in MUT. Neither was the home field advantage. So, kudos to that. So it's whatever. And like I said, I just brought it up in case you guys really cared about it. I think that's all I can really remember when it comes to the Madden 23 beta. Yeah, I think that's basically it, guys. So if you have anything else you want to share with me or share with us about the Madden 23 beta, do not be afraid to let us know in the comment section below, guys. This is a video I definitely want to come back to later on, maybe around November, December, and see how the game has held up in terms of the beta, because right now, as I speak, I am actually excited for Madden 23. I actually have a lot of good hopes for Madden 23, and I do think Madden 23 is going to be enjoyable. Again, providing they fix the biggest flaw for me, which is the instant wins and pass rush. If they can fix the instant wins and pass rush, I could actually enjoy this game. Well, I'm already enjoying this game a hell of a lot more than I did fucking 22, because, oh, goddamn, I hated 22 with a goddamn passion, with how people could just do whatever the fuck they wanted and get it. Oh, good lord. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna calm down. All right. Anyhow, but if they fix that one glaring flaw, or one glaring issue that, in my opinion, is game breaking, I do think we could have a very, very good Madden game, and I do think we can have a very good overall enjoyable community and experience, the game. But anyhow, guys, that's going to do it. Hit the like button once again if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.